Dior, Tom Ford, Guerlain, Dolce&Gabbana. I have a lot of luxury beauty sitting right in front of me that has piled up because it was all released at the same time. And I just decided, let's talk about what's better and what we like more. I have one of the lipsticks on now, but we're going to be changing it. I've got my handy dandy makeup eraser. I've been employing this little guy. He's working hard. I've been employing him for a long time now. We're going to be taking off and on makeup, trying on, talking about formulas, talking about if you're only going to buy one, because this was all released at the same time, what's it going to be? We're going to do all that today with me, Rebecca. I'm a fashion and beauty editor. You guys, I've done this professionally for over 25 years. On the other side of the camera, well, on the other side of a keyboard actually, writing about some of the biggest names in the industry. I am hoping to guide you through this high-end and luxury beauty world because, you know, we always like to say if money were no object, but money is kind of always an object, isn't it? So let's talk about what you should buy and what you shouldn't and what you're just feeling FOMO about. And we can only do that by delving in and trying it all on. Now, I'm not a makeup artist. I'm a journalist and reviewer. So maybe you won't love my technique, but that's not why I'm here. I'm here to talk to you about what's worth it, what you need in your collection. Because if you're not a creator, and I am a creator, and I still don't need it all, and neither do you, right? All right. So let's get into it. I got swatches for everything, and we're going to talk about it. We're going to divide this up, you guys. We're going to go into face products, eye products, and lip products. I am wearing one of the lip products already because we have so many, and I kind of want to try most of them on. Let's start with face products. In terms of the face products, that's where I have both of these gorgeous Dior Daisy Ladybugs. Look, let me just hold up the first one. The Ladybug is a good luck charm for Christian Dior, but also for most of us. And this really just is the pinnacle of absolute beauty. Look at this. I mean, just look at this. You've probably seen it by now. The little daisies come up off the... It's gorgeous. It's something to have. It's a collector's item. This was released in Europe before the US, and it sold out here so quickly. I put something out on my community page, like, get this while you can, and then it went on Sephora in the sale, and it was seemingly gone in 2 seconds. Anyway, these are beautiful, and we have what I picked up. There is, I believe, a bronzer, but what I picked up was the Luminizer in the shade Sunkissed. It's $60. Let me show you it. Dior has gone away from kind of a dry, dusty highlighter to a more pigment in gel type formula that's beautiful. We're going to see it outside swatched in just a moment. But then they also did, if we're talking face products, in the same gorgeous packaging, exact same gorgeous packaging. Also for $60, they did this kind of bronze sculpt highlight. It's a bronzer, but you can mix them all together. You can use the colors separately, but I'm just going to blend them all together because that's what most of us would do. And I got it, it's a little more neutral. I got it, I took off the gold overspray with my swatching, which you're going to see the swatches in a moment. This is a little more neutral compared to their other year's bronzers. And this one is the pink, but there's also one that has coral, also $60. I know, it's all blurred in there. Because once you go over there, the gold overspray comes off. And there's a lot of perfume to these products, just like we find in Chanel. It dissipates, but if that floral scent smacking you in the face, I suppose it's daisy scented. Are daisies scented? I'm looking to my staff to tell me. I don't have a staff. Anyway, if you don't like that floral scent kind of hitting you in the face, you're not going to love this. It does dissipate, but these luxury brands have that. You know, I want to compare this probably in a short. I'm going to compare it to the Hermes, which is that same many different shades, but you can blend them all together or use them separately. This one's a little tricky to use separately, but it's sure pretty. But you can see, I mean, you swatch it once or twice and the overlay's gone, and you know, there you go. The other face products that I have accumulated, Tom Ford, the Soleil collection, I told you I do have that here. And he has the Soleil highlighter that comes in 3 shades. This is Portofino, which is the 3rd shade. And it's supposed to look like sun reflecting off the water. If you think that Dior is expensive at $60. Wait till you see Tom Ford at $70. This is a gel formula. Tom Ford also has a bronzer. I said Dior had a bronzer and then showed it to you. What's wrong with me? But Tom Ford also has a bronzer that I didn't bother picking up. I can't get it all, you guys. I'm buying it, okay? And in terms of a face product, do remember that the Tom Ford Soleil collection has this little baby. No, it's not a lip product. This is the Sunkissed blush. I got the shade Resort, but it comes in 5 shades for $40. I got 2 cheeks. I got 2 pairs of eyes. We're going to be trying stuff on everywhere. I want to add in a lip/cheek formula from Dolce&Gabbana when we're looking at cheeks. This can be used on lips or cheeks. You know, when we talk about makeup and we talk about pigment in makeup, theoretically, you could use eyeshadow on your lips if you want to. It's all pigment. I know here in the US, the FDA will certainly recommend that you stay away from certain shades on the eyes. But, you know, other than those medical things which could stain the skin or whatever, basically, depending on how brave you are, you can use any pigment anywhere. But, you know, certain products, they actually market them for both. And this one this is the Dolce&Gabbana Cherry Glaze Bar. I got it in the shade Sunny Red, but there's 5 different shades. It's for lips and cheeks. It's $48. Let's put it into the cheek category because we got enough lip category here. And you could do both. I love it on both, but let me just see. So let's talk about this. And first, let's go outside into the warm California sunshine and see all of these. I don't think I put this Dolce & Gabbana in with the blush stuff, but let's take a look anyway at what we have. We have the Dior Forever Glow Luminizer in Sunkissed. And next to the swirled Dior Forever New Bronze Glow in the pink bronze. That's it all swirled together. There's the Tom Ford Soleil Sunkissed Blush in Resort and the Tom Ford Glow Highlighter in 03 Portofino. And you can kind of see I compare the Portofino to the Sunkissed Dior. Those are 2 highlighter shades. Luckily we have 2 cheeks. We might be making a little mess of my face, but it's not something I'm not used to. Okay, that Dior swatch I had stuck the swatch with lips, so you'll see that. But look at this, it's really cool looking. Dior has some neat packaging. It almost looks like it's all product, but that's plastic. And you can roll it up. It doesn't need to be rolled up. Let's just see what this looks like on cheeks. We can put a little bit on lips if we want. So that would go like that. And then I'm going to be very gentle here. Very, very, very gentle. This is the darkest shade. I can even employ my Merit brush if I want to. That's pretty though. Doesn't feel sticky. I like Dolce & Gabbana. I think they have really innovative, fun products. I don't know how you guys feel about it. I think it's still kind of niche in terms of beauty. This one has no scent. I already have something on my lips. So let's just, kind of goes on the lips really nicely. That's pretty, isn't it? I only have it on one cheek because we're experimenting. This feels really nice. I have worn this. I cheated on you guys and wore it without you. And it wears really nicely. And stays for a nice long time and is not at all sticky. It's not essentially cream to powder, it's almost a gel, but it might as well be to powder because it's got created a nice stain. It blends nicely. It's a really nice, check out Dolce & Gabbana if you've been sleeping on them for luxury. They're priced a teeny bit better. Look, everything is priced better. There's yachts in the south of France that are priced better than Tom Ford. But Dolce & Gabbana is. So check it out. And this is an innovative, fun product. But since we do have 2 cheeks that the good Lord gave us, let's try this Tom Ford Soleil Sunkissed blush. Again, 5 shades in this, but we're going to do 1 because I can't buy them all. We know how these kind of cream blushes work. Now this one blends nicely. Actually, very nicely. I'm not a huge fan of cream blush. So take my opinion with a little bit of a pinch of salt. I have things I like other than cream blushes. I even like these gel blushes better. But I will say this blends very nicely and very easily. I put a little more on this cheek and the colors are different. Sorry about that. You get mismatched Rebecca here as we play in all this makeup. But of these 2, which do I prefer? Not sure it's apples and apples, but I prefer the Dolce & Gabbana, which is general for me. Take in mind who you're listening to here, I'm not always a giant Tom Ford fan. Don't tell the beauty industry because Estee Lauder will come like grab me out of my bed in my sleep or something terrifying. I don't know. Okay, I'm kidding. All right, let's try on 2 highlighters. Let's look at Dior first, and I'll tell you which one I like better, okay? Here's the Dior Forever Glow Luminizer in Sunkissed. You saw it outside. I'm going to take one of my new Sonia G Alpine brushes. These are available at Beautylish, and they are absolutely lovely, and you'll see them do a job here. And I'm gonna really put this on nice and dark. First of all, this is a very wet look, and I think it's absolutely gorgeous. Does it emphasize texture? A little bit. It's a highlighter, guys. Highlights bring things forward. I'm kind of proud of my texture and pores. I earned them. My children gave them to me, I like to say, right? But I think it's a really pretty wet look, and I like it a lot. I think that's beautiful. And the case. Who does not want to own this case? There's no one that's going to say they hate this case. I'd like to see it. Come to me if you hate this case because you're crazy. People are going to say it's going to get damaged. I don't care. I think it's beautiful. Let's flip this beautiful Sonia G brush over and let's try our glow highlighter in the shade 03 Portofino. Our shades are different here. And this is the deepest one. That's too deep for you, Rebecca. I don't care because I'll use it for my eyes. Not in this video, but in another. All right, so let's talk about this one and just how it looks, okay? Yes, our shade choice is different. First of all, both have a little bit, this one actually doesn't have a scent. The Dior does, so we already have that. This has that really cool new Tom Ford packaging. It doesn't have daisies and a ladybug on it, so it loses in my book, but it is very striking and sophisticated, so that's really nice. But let's talk about not the shade differences, that's an opinion and skin tone. Let's just talk about the way it wears. These are both very wet shades. The Tom Ford is a tad bit more glittery. Both are very similar. I think the shades are a little similar too. The Tom Ford is a little more like a metallic stripe. The Dior is a little bit more of a gentle grown-up sparkle. I prefer the Dior for price. I prefer the Dior for its beautiful case, and I prefer on my skin tone the Dior for this tone and the look. It's going to be up to you. My choice, Dior, for a number of reasons. I mean, this Tom Ford is $40 to $60. You're paying for the packaging here. I will do that any day. And what's the expression? Twice on Sunday. So my choice is Christian Dior there. They are both beautiful. You do not need both. I am not your bank manager. If you would like to buy both, I will congratulate you and tell you to enjoy them, but you don't need both. I personally prefer the Dior. You can't get the Dior because they're selling out like a crazy thing, and you get the Tom Ford, you're going to love it. You're not... My grandmother used to say this about like clothing. She used to say, you're not wearing the label on the outside, sweetie. Oh, that was before the days where we had brands smacked all over our clothing. Fair enough. But still, what my grandmother said still stands. You're not walking around holding this up next to your... So if you get the Tom Ford, and it's a little cheaper, and you'll enjoy it and love it, okay? But I just prefer the Dior. All right, let's go ahead, since I did not buy the Tom Ford bronzer. Sorry, I can't buy it all. Let's go ahead and try this. I'm going to mix all this up. This is a Sonia G brush. And I'm just going to do one side of the face. Now, this one is going to hit you, again, as Dior does, with a little bit of a scent. This comes with, instead of pink undertones, this also comes with peach undertones, which might have been a little better for me, to be frank. But you really don't see the pink. It all kind of blends out. And it kind of looks like an old Dior bronzer. This is a bit more neutral than the other Dior bronzers, by the way. And as I told you guys, it has a little bit of highlight in it. So it's a little bit of a different formula. I like it better than the bronzers in the past. If you've kind of used up your bronzer, loving this case. Don't love the fragrance, but it dissipates. And I love how pretty it looks. But just don't rely on that gold overspray. It goes away real quick. What do you think? That's on one side of the face, not on this side. So it's very subtle. Let me go ahead in on this side of the face now. Again, this Sonia G brush. I've had lots of people lately asking me for bronzing brushes, asking me which ones to use. I'm always happy to advise on that. Had a lovely viewer ask me if she should use a kabuki brush for bronzing, which I don't recommend. I like these kind of big fatter fan brushes. I like a kabuki brush just to kind of even things out. I think a kabuki brush is too direct application for a bronzer, but y'all can weigh in on that down below if you'd like. Okay, so there we go. I'm a bit mismatched, but now you're seeing all of the face products that we have out. I can't tell you whether I prefer the bronzers, but I do know that I prefer this bronzer with a little bit of luminosity and that hint of pink or peach. And I do love this casing. I prefer it to Dior bronzers of the past, if you're wondering. Okay, let's move on to the eyes. We got a lot of shades for eyes here. We have two Dior things. We have the Dior Flash Stick and Brun Poncho. That's $42, but comes in 8 shades. This is an eyeliner, an eyeshadow. It's like a kohl pencil. It's It's Dior's answer to everything one and done in 8 different shades. We're going to see it in a minute outside swatched. And then we have our Tom Ford Soleil. Now, the Tom Ford Soleil comes in 2 different shades. It comes in Hazy Sensuality, which we've seen before, and then it comes in Moonlight Dip. Okay, let me get out the little thing there. And this is just a bunch of highlighty shades here. They call it a base with toppers, but it's beautiful. And this is new. Well, you might have seen it in the past few weeks because I'm rather late, whatever you want to call late with this review. So you might have seen it, but it is new to the Tom Ford Soleil collection, but it's beautiful. Now in Dior, oh, you guys, I am paying back a little bit of a bet here. In Diorshow 5 colors, I bought Summer Azur. Do you know why? Because this has a blue. This is $75. Okay, let's talk prices here for a moment. Our Tom Ford, of course, like I said, you could buy a yacht that sits in the south of France for less money. This is $96. And I don't know if I told you this Dior is $42. The Diorshow 5 colors Summer Azur, which is kind of limited edition, is $75. This has an enriched skin tone base. Do you know why? You know what, guys, I hate blue. Why did I buy the one with the blue? Her name is Hannah from Hand Beauty 101. She's a dear friend of mine. We also did a buy it or not buy it video together, and her challenge to me was this palette because Hannah knew that I would avoid the blue. I hate blue on me. And Hannah's particular challenge, and you're going to see it today, was, Rebecca, you can't use it as a drop shadow. We have to see you put on blue. Hannah! Okay, I'm going to do it. It's a pretty blue, though. It's a pretty blue. Let's take these outside and look at the swatches in the warm California sunshine. We got the Tom Ford Soleil in the new Moonlight Dip. We got the Diorshow 5 color Summer Azur. It's got like an enriched skin tone base. And then that real dark brown all the way over there is the Diorshow Flash Stick. That's in the Brun Poncho that I bought it in. We're not going to see the Brun Poncho. It is beautiful. It does a great job lining. They're really, really nice eyeshadow sticks. I'm not an eyeshadow stick woman. Who is? I don't know if there's many out there who would describe themselves that way. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm an eyeshadow stick woman. I just don't generally choose to use them, but I do think it's a very good one. I think it's a throwaway release though, but they say it's going to be a great liner too, and I suppose it is. So we'll line with it a little bit, and then let's do one on each eye, including the fact that yes, Hannah, I will indeed use that blue on the eyes, and then you guys get to put up with mixed eye Rebecca for the rest of the video. All right, that is a beautiful liner. That is a beautiful shade. It's very, very pretty. All right, the first thing I'm going to do, so this Tom Ford does come, like I said, in also in Hazy Sensuality, which we've seen. I got some Sonia G brushes up here. So let's just put a base all over this eye. These are just like a bunch of highlighty shades. To be honest with you, do you guys want me to tell you a little secret? I would probably use this as a highlighter and then skip buying that highlight that I showed you. Shh. Don't tell anyone I told you that. Same brush, because why make brush laundry? That is so pretty. And this is just my speed, you guys. I don't think I need to use all 4 shades to show you. This is just so pretty. I love it. If you love a subtle, kind of bronzy, highlighty look, this is for you. It stays all day. Beautiful formula. Beautiful new casing with that big T kind of, you know, I don't know, it's just really pretty. And that's really subtle and nice. Now for not subtle and perhaps not nice, let's go ahead. Oh, in for a penny, in for a pound. Hannah, am I cheating and not doing both eyes? Am I cheating a little bit? Maybe. Not on purpose. I'm not trying to be a big old cheater. I'm going to put on this kind of golden shade all over the eye. Am I a big cheater? Okay, and remember Hannah said you cannot, normally I would use this blue just as a drop shadow shade, but I'm not allowed to do that. Which was, she caught me. She knew what I would do. She knows me. Okay. All right, let's do it. Sonia G brush again. Say a prayer. Oh, gosh. Can I do it lightly though? I gotta commit. You know what? This is a little bit, it's a little bit purpley. It's kind of periwinkle. Oh, do I hate it? I kind of hate it, you guys. Okay, what about, I'm going it, Hannah, I'm doing it blue. I would not go out of the house like this, you guys. It is beautiful, For a blue palette, it is beautiful, but I just got to be honest with you, it is so not me. What did I make Hannah try on? I think she's done it already. Hannah, did you do it already? The Dolce&Gabbana lipstick, I have them here. I made her do it in like a super like dark red. Whoa. But yeah, I don't think this looks bad on me, but I always think blue looks a little patchy on me and it's just not flattering. So this will be coming off before I go out of the house. Now you might say, I hope it's coming off. You're mismatched. I go out of the house mismatched all the time, you guys. And people never even notice. I'm always like, what is wrong with people? Why do people not say, ma'am, your eye? I'm sure they just think I'm crazy and stuff. But my kids don't even say anything. There it is. I did it in blue. And as predicted, I hate it. All right, let's look at some lips. I got so many lip shades. So I did put this Dolce & Gabbana cherry glaze bar over my lips a little bit, and you'll see it with the lip swatches, but we used it on the cheeks, so we're kind of done. And when I came on, I was wearing one of these new Guerlain. Guerlain has these new Kisskiss Honey Infused Intense lipsticks. So I love that Kisskiss line. I was wearing, when I first came on here, the red Aster in 599. You're going to see this all. You're going to see this all swatched. But these are $50. I got these Tom Ford Soleil tinted lip glows. I got it in 2 shades, Nude Bikini and Cafe Petals, but they come in 7 shades. They're $40, and I heard rival my beloved Gucci Oil and Water. We'll just see about that. And then speaking of Dolce & Gabbana, I picked up also the Rose Dew Lip Bite in Flirty Red and the Everkiss Liquid in Pride. This is what I challenged Hannah to wear. So let's take a look at these first outside in the warm California sunshine. We have the Guerlain Kisskiss Honey Infused Intense Lipsticks. There's that Petal Red followed by the Red Aster. Then there's the Tom Ford Soleil that's in Nude Bikini followed by Cafe Petals. Then you can see all 3 of my Dolce & Gabbana products. There's the Cherry Glaze Bar we already did in Sunny Red, the Rose Dew Lip Bite in Flirty Red, and the Everkiss Liquid Lip in Pride. Really, really pretty. And I've got my at the ready. Let's see what we can try on here. Now, some of you might be asking if I could have worn that Tom Ford cheek shade on the lip. Nah, it kind of dries it out. It's like lips will work for cheeks, but cheeks don't always work for lips. So I don't blame Dolce & Gabbana for specifying with this one. This one does work for both. We've tried on one of the Guerlains. Let's go ahead. Let's do this. Let's try on this Rose Dew Lip Bite because it looks pretty dark, and this is Flirty Red. Hey, by the way, I ordered the new House Labs. They have these crazy new, there's the like shake lip things. I ordered it. I want to see how dark this is. I haven't tried this on. Ah, that's nice. I told you guys, I like Dolce & Gabbana products. What do we think of this? That shade is awfully pretty. It feels like a gel, this one. Rose Dew Lip Bite. And that's going to come off all over everything. This is not like the House Labs, which apparently looks like this but doesn't go anywhere. That's nice. It's a bit messy. But I'll wear it. It's a gloss, you know? And it leaves a little bit of a stain, doesn't it? Let's try the other Dolce & Gabbana, and then we'll try one of these Tom Fords, because this is a totally different product. This is the Everkiss Liquid Lip. Liquid lips have come a long way. God, I used to hate them. Remember how drying they used to be? But I'm aging myself. I'm talking the 90s they were dry. Remember those? They were like your lips would be like the Sahara Desert. That's creamy and beautiful. Very different product. This is more of a matte full lip. This is more of a kind of messy, goopy 70s disco gloss. Which do I like better? They're totally different. I like the 70s disco gloss, but you can't really compare them. The Guerlain is a beautiful lip color. Let's try. We're not starting from a clean base, but let's try the Tom Ford. I got my Gucci Oil and Water in really bright red shades because you know me and my red lipstick. So I tried to do the Tom Ford in a little bit less. This is the Bikini. Do you know what this reminds me of a little bit? This reminds me a little bit of the Victoria, less like the Gucci Oil and Water and more like the Victoria Beckham Bitten Lip. Except it's creamier. So So it kind of applies like that Victoria Beckham product, but it's creamier and a little bit spongier, like feels a little bit thicker. This doesn't, to me, it doesn't feel like the Gucci Oil and Water. I had heard that it rivaled it. And I'm not saying it doesn't. I am saying it feels different on the lip. Do I like it better? It's spongier. It's creamier. Sorry. It's creamier than, that was just for me wiping off a lip product, guys. That wasn't any of the application. That was from the clean. This feels, it feels more nurturing on the lip than the Gucci. The Gucci is really nice and the Gucci feels like nothing. Okay, if you're looking at the Gucci lip Oil and Water versus the Tom Ford, the Gucci Oil and Water feels like nothing and it's really pretty and it feels like a really nice stain that doesn't dry. This one feels like a stain that doesn't dry but also has an emolliency to it. So if you felt at all like the Gucci was drying, which I do not, but if you felt it all, you will prefer this. It feels spongier and a tad bit thicker and a little bit more like a treatment, but also super pretty. That is a neutral color. Granted, I took off a few different layers of darker lips we've been playing with, so I agree it's probably not a clean slate, but it's pretty good. Okay, to recap, I am choosing this Christian Dior for packaging and for performance above all else. If we're going to compare eyeshadow shades, I am always going to go with these highlighty, beautiful Tom Ford Soleil. I don't always love Tom Ford, but I always love Tom Ford over Dior Quince in general, and especially if it's blue. In terms of the lip shades, my favorite, I do think this Dolce & Gabbana hybrid product is pretty and worth it, especially if you're like gym bag to work, to out, to coffee, to whatever. I like that. Guerlain is great. The other Dolce products are good, but these Tom Ford are like a spongier, more cushiony Gucci Oil and Water. If that lets you know. We did it all. We did it all. What I'm available to, I'm always available to my community. So what I would really like to be able to do now, guys, is to speak to you in the comment section if you have questions. I'm finally caught up with changing my set around and everything. We're a little bit more fine-tuning with lighting, but we're getting there finally. So that anything now should just be little tweaks. So I'll be able to do my swatches quicker because I'm not otherwise engaged doing all this stuff. So if you need a swatch comparison on Instagram, feel free to ask me. I do that over there. You can also follow me over on Instagram and TikTok, Threads, and Facebook. We have a membership right here on YouTube. We do lives every Friday. I'd love to see your beautiful face there and talk about it. Well, your beautiful typing face, because you guys are in typing comments, but I lead that every Friday. Don't forget to subscribe. Of course, I hope to be an authority that you guys can rely on. We got more new stuff coming now that I'm getting caught up with all of the stuff that came in all at once. My goodness, we still got more. I got Jones Road coming. I still have the Estee Lauder Diane von Furstenberg collection coming up. Like I said, the new House Labs. I got those new single eyeshadows from Violette coming up. All sorts of good stuff. Don't sleep on me, you guys. Make sure that you are here for the next video. See you soon. Bye-bye.